guest here today who will help us uncover why cybersecurity might be the smartest career move in 2025. What propelled you to start a career in cybersecurity?
All right, thank you very much. I think the question should be, why not cybersecurity? If you are a lawyer and it is obvious that you know what you want to do, being a lawyer. So coming from that compliance analyst, it's something that relates, right? It interconnects with each other. So you can easily get to that point of being a compliance analyst. Then for sales, it's still the same thing we are talking about. One thing in cybersecurity, especially when you want to get into like third-party risk management, GRC, and all, you need to have that interpersonal skills. You need to be able to, discuss with different stakeholders, explain things how, you ought to explain that they would understand, right? So for someone that is in sales, yes, you can learn some things in cybersecurity, but that is a skill you are carrying into cybersecurity. You know how to have conversations with people. You know how to, engage people. You know how to explain things. You know how to convince people. You need lots of that in cybersecurity. You need to be able to convince senior management why they should go with certain risk, or why they should try not to go with certain risk, because everybody is coming from different perspective.
Yeah.
So based on the knowledge that you have from the outside, world, you can decide to put that into cybersecurity. Now, that is the non-technical side. I just call it non-technical because you don't have to go through the, process of learning how to code.
Everyone, you're welcome once again to another exciting episode of the Debo Taiwo Talk Show, also known as Candid Conversations with Debo across all podcast platforms. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who has consistently supported the brand, by liking, sharing, and commenting on previous episodes. It gives us a lot of more motivation to do more. Now, today we have a very exciting episode and also a very educative episode. As you already know, the world continues to change in a very geometric progression, and so therefore a lot of careers are beginning to evolve while some careers are gradually going into extinction. With the influence of artificial intelligence, I do have a guest here today who will help us uncover why cybersecurity might be the smartest career move in 2025. But before my guest gets to show his face, I'm joined by Segun. He's a brilliant mind and is the brain behind Send 6 Cyber, a forward-thinking cybersecurity company that's helping individuals and businesses stay protected in digital age. Segun will help us understand why switching to cybersecurity might be the smartest move in 2025. Segun, you're welcome to the Debo Taiwo Talk Show.
All right, thank you, Debo, for having me. So pleased to be here. I know we've been trying to plan this for a while now, but different schedule and all. But finally glad that I'm here with you.
Yes, and I'm also excited for a couple of things. First of all, a lot of people are in that situation now where they're thinking, my current set of skills, maybe they came in from with a sales background to Canada, or maybe they have a different career path that they think might not be very lucrative. I'm excited that you will be able to, put a light on the tunnel to say, this might be the best move for you. So to start with that, can you just briefly tell us why, what made you start up a career in cybersecurity? What propelled you to start a career in cybersecurity?
All right, thank you very much. I think the question should be, why not cybersecurity? Honestly, because for me, I came from a security background, right? Everything about me was security. My dad was in the military, and also growing up, I was either going to be in the military, directly after secondary school, or just, find my way around the uni and all. but I
Question.
ended up fine.
Was that in the like in the armed forces, like
Yeah,
the what we call soldiers?
Nigerian Navy.
Oh, Nigerian Navy. Okay, makes
Yeah,
sense.
my dad was in the Nigerian Navy.
Okay, okay.
So eventually I ended up going to uni, but when I was in uni, I my course was about personnel management, right? Industrial relations and personnel management. It
Okay.
was like more like HR, managing people and just what it is. But after uni, I figured that what do I really want to do? There has to be something, there has to be a way forward, and what do I really want to do?
Mm,
And for my kind of person, I had to look at my kind of person to see
mm,
what kind of person are you. I
mm,
figured I'm this kind of person that likes to get to the end of everything. I want to know everything. Like I want to get to the end of every situation, right? If there's a problem, I want to see the end. I
mm,
want to ensure that I just want to see the end, ensure that it is solved. So
mm.
even if it's not solved, just being that person that sees the end from the
From
start, right?
beginning.
That is how I've always projected the way I do things.
Mm,
So eventually I got into, I came across one course when I was actually doing a course in Lagos Business School,
oh, okay.
and it's about entrepreneurship development. And
Okay.
someone told me about a project management course, one of my colleagues. So I went to the school, I inquired about the course, got the course details, did the course, a project management course. And when I went to get my certificate, someone told me about forensics investigation and criminal intelligence. I said, oh, wow,
Mm.
this is me. This is what I like to do, right? This is me. I like to dig deep into things, right?
You get
And
that from having a father who worked in the armed forces? Is that where you think you picked up that cue of wanting to, resolve issues up to the end? I mean, looking at your career or your educational background from human resources to trying to resolve issues that has to do with forensics, they're like parallel. They're not aligning. So, did you get that from your father? I was just curious.
no, I wouldn't say I got it from my dad actually, because to be honest, there are some things that I did when whenever I go to visit my parents, I don't let them know that. I don't even inform them of my arrival, right? I don't let them anticipate. I just
You
go.
sure?
So there are times that I get to the house and my dad will be like, "This boy, you need to be in DSS. You need to be in all of so he understands that aspect of me that I just like to do things, the way I feel like would not stress anybody and just show up like that. So I wouldn't say I got it from him because my dad doesn't really deep in anything. He's just a free-minded guy and everything, but it's just my personality, and I was able to figure that out about myself, right?
Right,
And
right, Ellie, I know.
I understood that what do you really want and what kind of person are you? So the moment I heard about forensics investigation and criminal intelligence, I didn't think about it twice.
Mm,
I wasn't going to think about it and be like, let me think about it, because I just knew that this is
that was
what
it
you
for you.
can do. This is what you want to do and all. So I ended up doing that course, and when I was doing that course, someone told me about cyber forensics. Now, forensics investigation and criminal intelligence. The other one is cyber forensics, right? And I eventually, signed up for that and I did that. So I was learning and, everything was coming, everything was coming. I was beginning to figure out what I really like to do, right? So building that foundational knowledge in different areas of cybersecurity. And don't forget, cybersecurity has different domains. It's like when you get into the uni, you look for a faculty and you look for a department, right? It's,
Purple now is that
just like
different
that.
segments.
So there are different domains, and I think we'll get to that. But I just understood that cyber forensics is another part of cybersecurity. Forensics investigation and criminal intelligence is another part of security, right? So that is how I understood that, okay, this is about security. Okay, let's find out which one will strike, you know. And eventually I go to do my master's in um intelligence and global security. Do
Okay.
you understand what I'm saying
Mm.
now?
Yeah.
So it's a foundational knowledge for knowing the kind of person I am and knowing that it has to be cybersecurity. It has to be something relating to
The
security.
security. Now, let me,
And when,
if you don't mind, let me cut you short there.
sure.
I mean, thank you so much for sharing that bit of your background. But I want to relate it to the very common guy who probably had your expertise or your experience, who is currently into people development, or maybe a finance person, or someone who has a finance background, or someone who has, like a customer service or sales background, and they're
Yeah.
looking to pivot into cybersecurity. It sounds really techy, and it sounds like maybe a little bit of a difficult task. How easy was it for you to switch to, the forensics that you did and now leading into cybersecurity? What kind of skills, what kind of technical skills did you need to quickly learn to be able to execute your role as a cybersecurity analyst?
Okay, thank you for that question, Debo. The truth is that like I said, there are different areas in cybersecurity, different domains, right? And for me, I already knew it was just a matter of which area in cybersecurity do you want to get into. And fortunately for me, a friend of mine from the US, like my childhood friend, he came around, sometime in, I don't remember the years, he just came around to Nigeria. And, we talked about it and he said, hey, this is what I am doing. And it is in cybersecurity. And
Mm,
I was like, oh, tell me about it, tell me more about it. And eventually he told me about it. And I knew, oh, this is this is, should I say, a piece of cake? This is
mm,
what I can do
mm.
because it's in cybersecurity, but it's just in another domain, right?
Mm,
And
mm.
that is third party risk management. It's on GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, right? So
Okay.
eventually I knew that this is what I can do. It's just using my foundational knowledge to add to this, and, try to propel myself, further, right?
Yeah.
So for someone coming from finance, someone coming from in cybersecurity, there's what we call, if you are coming from the IT audits, you can be, a SOX audit. Now, SOX is Sobins, Oxley's, network and all. It's like the financial aspect of audits, for financial companies. So it's easy to figure that out in terms of the financial aspect. Now I know that I had to understand that, right? But if you want to capitalize on what you already know, that is where you can go. And you would find that under frameworks, under let's say yeah, just the frameworks is like a framework that you have to follow in
Okay.
terms of conducting audits. So for someone in finance, someone in the legal department can decide to be a compliance analyst.
Mm.
That is still GRC,
Very
right?
related to.
Compliance, if you are a lawyer and it is obvious that you know what you want to do, being a lawyer. So be coming from that compliance analyst, it's something that relates, right? It interconnects with each other. So you can easily get to that point of being a compliance analyst.
Mm,
Then for sales, it's still the same thing we are talking about. One thing in cybersecurity, especially when you want to get into like third party risk management, GRC, and all, you need to have that interpersonal skills. You need to be able to, discuss with different stakeholders, explain things how, you ought to explain that they would understand, right? So for someone that is in sales, yes, you can learn some things in cybersecurity, but that is a skill you are carrying into cybersecurity. You know how to have conversations with people. You know how to, engage people. You know how to explain things. You know how to convince people. You need lots of that in cybersecurity. You
mm.
need to be able to convince senior management why they should, you know, why they should go with certain risk or why they should try not to go with certain risk because everybody is coming from different perspective.
Yeah.
So based on the knowledge that you have from the outside, world, you can decide to put that into cybersecurity. Now, that is the non-technical side. I just call it non-technical because you don't have to go through the process of learning how to code. You
Yeah,
don't have to go through the process of, but it is essential that you learn the basics,
of course,
right?
of course.
So when you say non-technical, it's just like you want to skip the basics.
Hmm?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
just like you want to skip the basics. So everybody can come into cybersecurity. You give it some time and say, okay, I want to learn this. What do I want to do in cybersecurity?
Hmm.
What do I want to do? Do I want to be a SOC analyst? Do I want to be, a cloud security person?
Hmm.
Do I want to be the ones that, third party risk management?
So what you're saying, what I'm hearing is they're like different branches, different segments. To your point,
Yeah,
it's a faculty, and then you have like different departments. It boils to you to first do a little bit of research to say where will my skills be closely aligned to, and then you can then make your mind and go for that, which would definitely makes sense. So because of time, I'm just going to be asking you some of the questions that I have. Now, I would ask you, what would you say is the biggest advantage of starting a career in cybersecurity in 2025?
well, I would say peace of mind.
How do you mean?
When when you eventually settle into cybersecurity, now it's a different thing to learn cybersecurity. It's a different thing to get a job in cybersecurity, and it's a different thing to build a career in cybersecurity.
Mm, mm,
There are three different distinct, stages that
mm,
you have to be very, very patient with yourself,
mm,
right? So it depends on where you are coming from. What do you want to do? Understand the area you want to get to and try to figure that out yourself. You can go in different areas and figure things out, check different, you know, what's it called? Go online and do the research.
makes
So
sense.
they are different in terms of putting all those things in place. You need to understand that what do I really want to do in cybersecurity? Get those things done and continue your career. So when you are in cybersecurity and you want to build that career, you need to understand that it comes with patience, right? It comes with learning more.
Mm,
So you don't have to be stuck in one place. The moment you learn something, you are applying and you are reapplying and you are learning,
mm.
right?
That makes sense. Okay. So what I'm hearing from that point is, again, to your point is trying to do that research, pretty much getting to understand the segments, the different departments that are
Yeah.
or different arms that or segments that are in cybersecurity, and then you go for the role that is most suited for you in that regard. Thank you so much for sharing that. But with what I was trying to drive though, like what is the advantage? What advantage basically are you getting from that switch? Like, how do you already said though, I think your first point was you said
Peace of mind.
peace of mind. And
Yeah, because when you're trying to build a career in cybersecurity and eventually you get to the point where you are balanced, right? You get that peace of mind.
that makes
You
sense.
can say the money that comes with it, your pay is not just, you know, you get good pay. I'm not one of those people that preaches six figures, six figures, six figure. But if you are coming from somewhere that you believe that you want to switch careers, there has to be a drive, right? There has to be this something that motivates you. It could be that you don't like your current career. It could be that you are the kind of person that you really want to even be in cybersecurity, regardless of how much it pays, right? You could be the person that your pay is what is driving you.
Or maybe I should rephrase the
So
question as to when you say peace of mind, does it mean like you are almost unbothered that okay, when a company is laying off, for example, you have job security because you're in cybersecurity? Does that make sense? So I was just looking for a little bit of clarity on peace of mind. Like, is it like there's job stability with a career with, for example, artificial intelligence coming in and a lot of like programmers or some coders losing jobs in different tech companies? Is it like cybersecurity role is almost untouchable?
So cybersecurity role is even one of the roles that, you know, you get those layoffs, right? But once you know something, you already know it.
Hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like knowledge gives you that level of peace of mind. You know something and you are going into it's a process. Anybody can be laid off
Hmm.
in today's world with what is happening everywhere in the world,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You can just anybody can lose their job. It has happened to me. It
Hmm.
has happened to people I know.
Okay.
But you have that confidence of going back to say, yes, I'm going to get this job because I've already done these things. I know these things.
Hmm. Okay.
And if you do your research now as we are speaking, in Canada, yes, just search, top 10, maybe top 10 professions or top 10 industry, top 10 whatever to find a job quickly.
Hmm.
You'd see cybersecurity there.
As part of that. Hmm.
You'd see cybersecurity there. It's one of them. So you would see other careers. You could see healthcare, yes, you would see customer service, but people in those careers, especially in customer service, they might be the ones that even really want to come into cybersecurity
Hmm. Hmm.
because they want to switch careers. They
Hmm.
want to earn more.
Hmm.
So it gives me that level of peace of mind that I can have two jobs if I want, right?
Hmm.
If I want and if I have the time to do them.
I get it.
Yeah. So eventually it extends to, you know, career wise, you are building your career.
Hmm.
That is an extra advantage. It's not everywhere you'll be competing with different people.
Hmm.
It's different, there are even in your organization, there are HR people, even in your organizations, there are accountants and or anybody could be laid off there, right?
Hmm.
But you just need to bring that value that gives you that peace of mind, that gives you that advantage, that gives you, that extra, whatever comes, that you are getting the job again. You are
Hmm.
going back into the market and, you could even earn bigger, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That is how I see it.
That makes sense. Thank you again for the clarity there, Shegun. Now, what's the best way for someone with a non-tech background to break into cybersecurity?
For someone with a non-tech background to break into cybersecurity, it's one of the best ways. It falls back to knowing the first thing because these days you ask people, I want to get into cybersecurity. Okay, where do you know what you want to do in cybersecurity? So there has to be that clarity. It is one of, if you are going to the non-technical area and you know that, okay, I want to get into GRC, I want to get into third-party risk management, right? Those are the non-technical area, but there are still some things that you would learn that would make you stand out.
Hmm. Like,
So I don't like to preach non-technical like that because things are changing, right? With the aid of AI, that is a technical thing. You need to be able to understand it. It might not be coding as relates to cybersecurity or software development or it might not be networking as relates to network systems and all in cybersecurity, but you need to have an idea of those things to make you stand out.
make it stand out. Hmm. So you're saying one of the biggest way again would be clarity on what you want. Very
Yeah.
important. And then still understanding a little bit of being flexible to understand that you still need to know a bit of technology, even as you might not have had a tech background. So that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then so let's talk about flexibility. How flexibility is a cybersecurity career in terms of remote work and global opportunities or consulting.
Um, well, it's quite flexible. If you are looking at in terms of remote work, let's even look at these days remote work is not out there like it used to be.
Mm.
because organizations are beginning to say, hey, come back to the office.
Mm.
So the amount of remote jobs I saw last year is not even close to the amount of remote jobs I'm seeing this year.
Mm.
So if you are seeing 20 job posts last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you could see about 13 to 14 remotes,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
But these days, if you see those job posts, you might even see like just two that are remote.
Mm.
So the first thing is to understand that it depends on the area in cybersecurity. There are some areas that you can do everything in the house, right?
Yeah. Mm.
And it just depends if your own organization is flexible to that point to want to allow. So
Mm.
organizations that used to allow no longer allow.
So would it be
That is,
because I'm sorry, would it be because like cybersecurity is considered, like the word is it because of trust? Is that why you have to be at the office or what I'm just curious as to what is making that switch from employers being comfortable to being like, well, you guys should come back to the office.
well, they pay for the office.
Mm-hmm.
People have to occupy the office.
Yeah, true.
So even if it's something that nobody wants the office to be, the times that brought about remote jobs, those times have passed. It was the COVID era, right? COVID, instigated all those things. But some people are even beginning to feel bored at home. I was talking to one of my friends. He said he doesn't feel like it functions how it ought to be functioning. And I
Mm.
said, could it be that you are working
From
from
home.
home or you've been working from home all through the years,
Mm.
5, 7 years, right? And he said, yeah, maybe. So he said he wants to start going to the office. So he must have identified that something is missing. So to
Mm.
some people, they want to be in the house. To
Mm-hmm.
some people, they want to go to the office.
Mm.
At the end of the day, the organization wants you to function regardless of where you find yourself. Be in
Mm-hmm.
the house, be in
Mm.
the office, right? So it's
Yeah.
not a matter of trust pertaining to the profession or the area. It's just what organizations are beginning. And when the big organizations start, the smaller ones would follow
Mm-hmm.
because they are just setting those landmarks and all. So in terms of consulting, in terms of the opportunities are there,
Mm.
right? Because cybersecurity is not going anywhere.
Mm.
It's not a profession that we are all interconnected. We are using, you can have about 10 devices in your home, your digital camera, your CCTV, everything is connected to the internet.
Mm.
Everything is vulnerable
Mm.
or can be vulnerable, right? So it's not going anywhere. The opportunities are there. You just have to identify if you want to build a career from it.
From it.
So cybersecurity is a job that you can be doing till when you are 60,
Mm.
70.
Mm.
Trust me, I've seen people that are doing it, but they come from the consulting side, right? They've gathered so much experience that they don't need to work. So they get consulted by the big firms.
Mm.
You understand? So the knowledge is there
Yeah.
and you just keep upping it. You just keep upping it as the landscape changes, as different, technology comes up.
Mm. I see.
So that is how I see it.
Thank you so much, Shagun. We are wrapping up soon, but we still have a few questions to go.
Right.
Can you, talking about, vulnerability around cybersecurities, can you share one myth about cybersecurity you'd like to debunk? So, myth, like, what do people think about cybersecurity that, is actually not true? It's just a myth.
Yeah, I think people think it's difficult to get into cybersecurity. I've heard that so much. I've heard that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I always encourage people. If you feel like you want to switch, just switch, right? It's going to take some time. That is the first thing you need to accept.
Mm.
It will take some time. So most people want to just take that big leap. They just want to, from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a process. You need to understand that it's a process that even when you get the job, it's still a process. You are learning on the job. it's still a process continuously, right?
Continuous process.
So cybersecurity is not difficult to get into. You just really need to know the niche, the area, the domain that you want to focus on
Mm,
and go out there. I can tell you there's nothing that is not on the internet,
mm,
not even with the aid of, quantum computing and, you know, ChatGPT, Gemini, and the
mm,
rest that
mm.
goes out there, search the information and
And
brings
then
everything
brings
on the
everything to
internet.
you. Do you feel
But
threatened with that, especially for people who take roles that are like the GRCs, like you said, like the non-tech areas of cybersecurity? Should those kind of people be worried? Because I mean, you have like language learning machines that can search anything for you.
yeah, I'm from the risk management aspect, and I attended the course, one of the annual ISACA. ISACA is like the cybersecurity body or one of the cybersecurity bodies. And one of the presentation was about um, the risk in artificial intelligence. From a risk management aspect, it is even risky to depend on artificial intelligence because we both know that even ChatGPT is not always 100% correct,
Accurate, yes.
right?
Yes.
So from that risk management aspect, you know, but it can fasten things, it can point you to some directions, but you still need that, human
Touch.
intelligence.
Mm,
ChatGPT is not going to write your policy. Yes, you can give it all the placeholders and all, but your organizational goals, everything has to be aligned to the business. It has
mm,
to be aligned to the goals. So
mm,
you need that human, interface to be able to
mm.
come up with
To come up with
certain
stuff like
decisions.
that. Yeah, that makes
So it's
sense.
not a trend.
Mm,
It will aid some things. It might, there might be some job cuts, right? But that is where upping your game comes. That is where learning something else, to compensate for what you already know. That is where it comes in.
mm,
So you don't just get left behind, right? So there might be some job cuts because AI would make things faster.
mm.
And by, something that 10 people would do, maybe you need like 5 people to do it
Mm.
because the workload would have reduced and can
Yes.
do it faster.
And it
So
takes.
you just need to find yourself amongst those 5 people, right?
Mhm.
Because that
Because
is
that's
where
where
everything is going.
at the end of the day. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Shegun, for being a guest on the show. I'm just gonna ask you three questions, but we're gonna do it like in one in 30 seconds. What's one
Okay.
cybersecurity tool you can't live without?
A cybersecurity tool I can't live without.
Yes.
Well, I would say in terms of risk management, it would be all of the automations we do, right?
Okay.
It's you need those things to be able to do things better, right? There are so
Okay.
much automations in GRC and TPRM. So yeah, OneTrust, Vanta, all those things that aids, your job. So can live without them, but you know, I would not be as effective as I ought to be with them, right? Because I would have to be going through Excel
Mm.
and all
I
to
know.
do all those things that could have been automated, right? So
Automated.
that is one of
Definitely.
the tools that,
Makes sense. Thank you so much for answering that. Now, what's the most rewarding moment in your career so far?
yeah, the most rewarding moment would
In 1 minute.
be it has to be getting appraisals from senior management. You
Okay.
understand? Being acknowledged, right? There's nothing, that you want to see rather than actually in this organizational context where we are, right? You want to be visible, you want people to see you, not even if you're not doing it intentionally, as long as you are doing your job, it shows, right? You are being called to explain things. So you get those appraisals from senior management. People know you. People know that this was the guy that initiated this. This was the guy that did this.
Mm,
It's always a rewarding point in my career. It's not even about the pay because the pay would always come, right?
mm-hmm.
But those acknowledgement that you get with people that you work with
Mm-hmm.
is always rewarding for me.
Always rewarding. Yeah. And then in 30 seconds, one
Yeah.
thing you wish you knew before starting cybersecurity.
One thing I wish I knew before starting cybersecurity would be knowing where to start. Like, just, knowing, not even wasting time, just getting into the things I want to get to and just doing it the moment I know I need to do it.
As quick as
You
possible.
understand? Because there are some things that I must have tried to do that I just felt like I don't need to do now. And eventually, those things were the things that aided my career in cybersecurity. So these days, I tell people just do everything, keep going, keep learning, spend 2 3 hours on what you are trying to learn, and eventually you would understand it. So don't waste time. The moment you decide, just
Move ahead.
start and keep firing up.
Makes sense. Thank you, Shegun, again for being a guest on the show. I know you are a founder of Sorry, just give me one.
Sense six cyber.
Sense Six Cyber. Yes. How have you
Yeah.
helped? Can you share some success stories with some of the people that have signed up for Sense Six Cyber?
Okay,
In
thank
about
you.
30 seconds. Yes.
Okay, well, there are lots of success stories, and you can find the success stories on the website, sense6cyber.com.
Okay, makes sense.
And, I don't like posting things on my DM. People are always letting me know, thanking me for the knowledge. And I give lots of free stuff, right? I help people do stuff, revamp your resume, do this to your LinkedIn, just to put you
Out there.
ahead. And so it's the testimonies are out there, the testimonials are out there, and you see them on the website, you see them on our landing page and all. But the people that we've worked with, they know what they've gained from us, right? They understand the process that these are things they could have paid thousands of dollars for, and they are getting for free. You understand? So that is where we are, that we need to help people in, getting into cybersecurity. It's not difficult. Just know where you want to get to and, start firing.
And for the programs that you do, what's the duration mainly, like when you're doing it, in about 10 seconds?
Okay, yeah, it's just for 3 months, once in every week for 3 months. Like we take our time for 2 hours
And
every week for 3 months. So that's like 12 weeks.
all right. Thank you so much, Shegun, CEO Sense Six Cyber,
Yep.
for being a guest on the Debut Taiwo Top Show and for sharing with us, the why cybersecurity might be the smartest career move in 2025. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any final parting words for us?
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. And for the people that will be watching this, I just want you to know that regardless of where you decide to get to in life, just keep pushing, right? It might not be in cybersecurity. It might be somewhere else. You want to switch, you want to do this, keep pushing and keep listening to, the Debo Taiwo talk show. It's very interactive, and, you have to gain a lot from people that are already there, right? Thank you for having me.
All right, guests. All right, Shegun and viewers, thank you again. It's a wrap on this episode. Till we'll meet again. Thank you so much. Cheers and bye for now.
All right.